Hey, what's up? This is Ben from WODprep, and I'm here with the WODprep mobility coach, Gary Dubs. So today, we are going to help you if you struggle getting good extension in your kipping movements. So specifically with kipping pull-ups, we see a lot of people that kind of get stuck. They might kip with their elbows bent. They just feel like their extension in their shoulders is really limited. This video is going to help. But really quick, if you are struggling with all things shoulder mobility related, you feel like you struggle with the kip, you struggle with overhead movements, make sure you go to wodprep.com/shoulders to download our free shoulder mobility guide. Gary, what's the first drill that we need to do to help unlock that kipping mobility?
So we're going to attack it from a few perspectives, but the first thing we're going to do is unlock shoulder flexion, and we're going to work our way down into some bigger global movement. So the first thing you're going to do is get out your foam roller and get out a little 2.5 pound plate, and we're going to do some supine shoulder flexion on that foam roller. So you're going to lay flat, you're going to get a single weight, and what you're going to do is pull that same leg up that we're trying to stretch. So if I'm taking my right hand overhead, we're going to also pull our right knee up. So it's going to be a little bit of a balancing act on that foam roller. But what you have to do is every time you go up into that shoulder flexion, we are going to pull the ribs down, exhale everything out, and just let that scap and that shoulder kind of fall off. Because if you think about it, when we go up overhead, right, that scap and everything needs to be able to get full flexion. So the scap, the glenohumeral joint, these two joints need to work in congruence to get full shoulder flexion. So the first thing we're going to do, isolate the shoulder, get true shoulder flexion with that supine shoulder flexion on the foam roller.
So in layman's terms here, basically what we're doing is we're just trying to train our body that it's okay to get to this fully extended position rather than getting stuck here.
Yep, we're going to use some weight to just weight bear, get a little bit of an eccentric loading on that muscle, and just teach that tissue to take some load in that flexion.
So when they're doing this, should they feel like a crazy pull on the muscle, or is it really just like, hey, we're just teaching the body that it's okay to support a little weight there?
Yep, it's not going to feel like a long stretch like you're bending forward, touching your hamstrings. We're working on some good motor patterns. So you're just going to feel a little bit. If you're really tight underneath here, you'll feel a little bit underneath there. But if you are not necessarily as tight, we're just going to work on very good shoulder positioning. Think of this as good shoulder positioning, not necessarily feeling a long stretch. Nice straight elbows, in line with the ear. Let it get some hyperflexion, so that arm getting behind your ear. So we are practicing taking some load, which will translate to taking some load on that bar.
So Gary, how many reps each side should we do here?
So you're going to do 2 sets, 8 to 10. Remember, no pain. If there's some pain, that's no go, stop the stretch. We're just going into some tension, into that limiting restriction, and then right back out. Always work good mechanics, nice straight elbows.
Sorry to interrupt this message, but I have a special announcement from my dog. Murphy would like to tell you that you need to hit the subscribe button down there. Thank you. All right, so the next drill is something that I actually really enjoyed the first time I tried it out, and that is hollow snaps with a bar. So Gary, can you explain how we get this one set up?
So you're going to lay down on your back. You're going to grab a barbell. It doesn't matter, 45 or a girl's bar, that's okay. And then what you're going to do is add some small plates on it, just so you can get your hands underneath. So it can be fractional plates, it can be 2.5 pound plates. 5 pound plates is getting a little bit too big, so that's what you need to set up. And once you do, you're going to get into position, and we're going to take that bar up overhead, and we are going to perform a hollow snap while keeping our arms back down on the ground. So what this is going to do is separate the scapular movement from our rib cage. So what happens, and when we go into that extension, a lot of us are closed here and we're closed with our rib cage. This is going to teach us to separate that movement from the scap and that shoulder joint from the rib cage. So you're going to go ahead, lay down, nice straight arms like you were doing your hollow and the extension piece, and you're just going to flex up into the hollow snap, and that weight holding you down is going to separate those shoulders from that rib cage.
Okay, so basically we're putting our hands in a good overhead, fully extended position, and then we're engaging our core. If you've ever done hollow snaps or hollow rocks, it's really easy to just fold everything forward, and your shoulders are in this closed position. We want to open the shoulders up, but still be able to activate that core. Is that correct? And glue down the ribs? Awesome. So how many reps are we going to do for this one?
So for this one, we're going to take the reps down a little bit. 2 sets of 6 to 8. What I want you to do is go up, contract into that hollow snap, hold for 2 to 3 seconds, feel the good shoulder mechanics, good positioning, and then right back out.
All right, drill number 3 is going to be a bridge, and this might seem really difficult for some of you, and it will be, but don't worry, we're going to teach you how to modify it. What is a bridge, Gary?
So a bridge is going to be an even more demanding extension piece, just like that hollow in that pull-up. So for this, what you're going to do is prop your feet up on something, a little bit of an elevation, a foot to 2 feet. It's going to take pressure off of our lower back, and we are going to do essentially a gymnastics bridge. This is something that gymnastics practice, people practice over and over so they can get really good positionings on the rings, the bars, you name it. It's a very good transfer movement over to pull-ups. It's very relatable. So
you can see how, like, when he's demonstrating, he has that global flexion. So basically from his toes all the way to his hands, he has that big arched position. And that's similar, maybe not quite as, or it's probably more extreme than the extension position you're going to get during, let's say, a kipping pull-up or a kipping ring muscle-up. So what you want to do is, depending on your ability level, you can either have your feet flat on the floor, for those of you who are very mobile, you probably aren't watching this video, or if you're restricted, you can slowly but surely start to rise your feet up a little bit. So you can see here, we put a couple mats underneath Gary's feet, and it got a little bit easier for him to get into that position.
Exactly. It'll take the pressure off the lower back, and this is a way for us to accumulate more time under tension in that hollow extension piece, which is very difficult for a lot of us.
So Gary, where should they feel it during this particular stretch?
So for this one, we want to make sure that we're getting very active on our glutes. We should feel those glutes firing, and then we also want to feel like a bulk of that extension is coming in that thoracic spine. So if you're feeling a lot of pressure in the lumbar, you're not in the correct position. Maybe elevate your feet a little bit more. But we're going to work on punching through, driving that head through just like the bottom part of that kip. You should feel a nice big stretch, almost pressure, if you will, in that middle spine, and then feeling those glutes firing, getting full hip extension.
How many reps? How many sets?
So what we're going to do is, if you can get up and just hold for a few seconds, and that's all you got, that's totally fine. If you can get up and hold for a little while, we're going to do what we call a bridge pull. So you're going to just work on driving your head through. Think like shooting your head through the window, like if you're doing your kip. And you're going to do 2 sets of 10 with the bridge pulses.
So but bridge pulses, so we're moving in and out.
And if you can't do that, get up and let's just try to accumulate about a minute under tension in this bridge.
Perfect. I know it looks hard, but I challenge you, try it out, and you might feel like your shoulders are much more open and ready to do some serious kipping work. So I hope that you like those 3 drills that we gave you to increase your kipping performance, especially when it comes to shoulder mobility. If you want more information on how to get more mobile shoulders, go to WODprep.com/shoulders. We have a free training guide ready for you. Last but not least, thumbs up if you like the video, thumbs down if you think Gary looks weird. Hit subscribe so you don't miss any more of our videos. And then this is a really good question. Question of the day: what is your favorite superhero? Gary, what's your favorite superhero?
Batman, undoubtedly.
Batman.
He runs off human powers. Can't beat it.
That's pretty impressive.
Yep.
I have to say Superman just because I have to be the antithesis to Gary. But who is your favorite superhero? Leave it in the comment below and let us know.